The Texas Ranger batting order tonight will be Oda B. McDowell in center field, Scott Fletcher at short, Ruben Sierra in right, Pete Incavilla in left, Pete O'Brien at first, Steve Buechele at third, Bob Brower, the designated hitter, Jim Sundberg catching, and Jeff Kunkel at second base. The umpiring crew will be Rich Garcia behind the plate, John Hirschbeck at first, Rick Reed at second, and Dale Scott calling the plays at third. Another hot one tonight, but so far it hasn't bothered Bruce Hurst.
Hurst making his second start this season against the Rangers, 1-0. Beat him back here on April 17th, 15-2. Pitched 9 innings in that ball game. Struck out 8, walked 3.
Very tough against everybody in this ballpark over his career. Pitching to Oda B. McDowell, drops the first pitch, a curveball over for strike 1.
9-4 over his career against the Rangers.
And he's beating them all but one game here. Right side, Benziger wins the race. Oda B. McDowell, who was hitting .228, rounds out to Todd Benziger, the first baseman. It is 92 degrees. 3 degrees hotter than it was this time last night. And it's very heavy. The wind is blowing out. It's a hitter's wind. Out from home plate to center field. Scott Fletcher, the shortstop. Down to shortstop, Jody Reed. Right over the top. And 2 down in a hurry.
This has been a hitter's ballpark for quite a while now, Ned, since the weather warmed up. The wind's been blowing out, been very humid.
It has. The weather has really favored the hitter for about a month and a half now. Flag wafting out toward the sign, the Lansdowne Street. Ruben Sierra, right fielder, batting .239, 15 home runs though, and 56 batted in. Switcher batting from the right side against Hurst. 1 strike. Thing to do for a pitcher tonight is make people hit his pitch and get as many putouts by fielders as you can. It's hot and you don't want to be throwing 130 pitches.
Plus, this is only the 3rd start that Bruce has made since coming off of the Sable list with a viral infection, so stamina still may not be quite what it would be 100% in this kind of weather.
Boggs at third. Rocking chair inning for Hurst. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. Red Sox lineup will be Wade Boggs leading off and playing third base. Marty Barrett at second. Dwight Evans in right. Mike Greenwell in left. Ellis Burks in center. Todd Benziger at first base. Jim Rice, the hitter. Jody Reed at short. And Rich Gedman catching. Same lineup as last night. Different pitcher, though. And a return home for Bobby Witt.
Well, 2 different seasons for Bobby Witt. One before he got sent to Oklahoma City, and one since he's been back. And 6 starts prior to his option to Oklahoma City. He was 0-5 with a 7.68 ERA. He struck out 30 men in 36 innings and also walked 35. In 4 starts since he's been recalled, he is 3-1 with a 1.29 ERA. He struck out 32 and has only walked 15, so that control has been much, much better since he's been back. They say he's been going right after hitters, stop trying to locate the ball, trying to be too fine, gone back to what really got him to the big leagues, and that's throwing the ball.
And throwing it hard. He's as good a fastball as you can find. He started to aim the ball more or less when he was first up with the Rangers, and then he went down, and Fergie Jenkins, who was a pitching coach at Oklahoma City, may have taken him in hand. Fergie used to be able to throw the ball pretty hard himself, too, when he was young. It's inside to Wade Boggs. Boggs at .359 with 4 home runs and 42 batted in. Carves it toward left field. Over is Incavilla, watching it go off the wall. Boggs will hold at first. Good play by Incavilla, but Boggs singles off the wall to start it off.
Well, a good example right there how this wind should kind of have an effect probably on some balls tonight that hit high above the stadium. Didn't look like that ball was hit very hard by Boggs. Incavilla went back, and I believe he thought he had a chance on it when it first went up, but it just takes itself right off the wall. Boggs has to hold it first with a single.
Pete played it well once realizing he was going to hit the wall. He came around and fired towards second, and Boggs took a wide turn and had to settle for a single. So there goes your no-hitter. Here's Marty Barrett. Ball one. Witt's strikeout ratio has been better than 2-1 to walks since coming back. And that has been unusual for him because his problem last year was the base on balls, the walks that he gave up. Barrett to center field and Oddibe McDowell. And there's one out. Marty was hitting .293.
The other thing that Witt's done a little bit differently, too, than I can recall before he was sent down, a little different move with a runner on first base, kind of using that slide step now, that fast delivery to the home plate, and they say it's much, much tougher to run on.
Given the step and the velocity. Last year, he led the American League in giving up walks with 140. He also struck out 160. So you see the type of pitcher he was and is in effect. He will throw a lot of pitches in a game ordinarily. Dwight Evans up and takes ball one. Evans hitting .309, 9 home runs, 71 batted in.
Witt basically a good hard fastball, that snapping breaking ball you just saw that's fairly hard also, and also throws a fork ball for an off-speed pitch.
1 ball and no strikes. High to Evans, right over the top with a fastball. Bobby from Canton, Mass, where he was raised. He was born in Arlington, Virginia, and now lives in Arlington, Texas, where the Rangers play. A check swing. He is 24 years old. 2-1 to Evans.
Too nasty of a strike right there for Evans. That ball coming in on the inside corner. A good pitch is pitched. 2 balls, no strikes. Evans looking for something a little bit more out over the plate. Tried to hold up. Bobby Valentine got the sweatbands on tonight. Charlie Huff.
2 balls and 1 strike. Rangers go home after this game. They have tomorrow off, and they open a homestand against Cleveland on Friday. And Huff will be pitching. In fact, they were playing the Cleveland Indians. They just finished a series with the Indians when the Red Sox went down to Texas in April. This will be the last time around for those 2 teams, at least in Arlington. Right through the fastball, 2-2. Place packed again. Jab.
That good fastball by Bobby Witt. Also from that stretch position, has a little bit of that bent back knee. Also helped to quicken up that delivery to the plate. Similar to what Charlie Huff does.
Count hangs at 2-2 to Evans. Rangers having a rough road trip, trying to get their second win of this road trip. They lost 3 out of 4 to Detroit. They lost the first one here last night. Witt pitched earlier this year when he was up the first time here in Fenway Park. He gave up 3 runs to the Red Sox in 1 inning and then pitched 5 innings of shutout ball. Not involved in the decision. He strikes out Evans. First strikeout for Witt.
Strikeouts will come with that fastball up in the strike zone, similar to a Roger Clemens strikeout on his fastball. Something up above the hands. That's why I mentioned in the open it could create a problem for the Red Sox because, as a whole, the Red Sox are low ball hitters.
Yeah. Not like they were in in olden days when they turned around that high fastball. A guy at the plate can turn around a fastball from a left-hander to right-hander or an ambidextrous person. Mike Greenwell. Ball one. Greenwell at 340. 18 home runs, 88 batted in. Grand slam last night.
Oh, Mike, watch the ball, buddy, watch the ball.
There's a strike. 1-1.
That's not going to help Matters either if he's able to get that strike. Looked like the new strike zone call there.
It did. It's hard to say whether the umpires are going by that rule we kicked around in spring training. The new American League strike zone. Ball two. Greenwell leading the league in runs batted in with 88. He's got one over Canseco. The Gator. That's his nickname, and regardless of that, well, what New York fans think, they can call him the Gator if they like to here. Guidry has no patent on the nickname. 2-2. And this guy does hunt them, wrestle them, and fool around with them down in Florida. Mike Greenwell from Fort Myers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boggs at first base. 2 out. Red Sox have to turn up their dials a little bit because they have not been running into too many heater throwers lately. Count is 3-2 to Mike Greenwell. Burks on deck. Ball 4. 2 and on. Runners at first and second, 2 out, and Burks coming up. So again in the first inning, the Red Sox stir around. They have not scored yet, but they do have people on. Burks has hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games as you look at Bobby Valentine. He's had a home run and 5 runs batted in those last 6 games. Ball 1. That is steered and aimed. They can't find it. The runners move up. Sundberg did not know where the ball was as it ticked off his glove. And the runners move up to second and third in scoring position.
Looked like this ball surprised Sundberg right here.
Did,
the fastball away. Had trouble catching up to it, almost like he was either crossed up or looking for something inside.
Wild pitch charged.
He's kind of set up to the middle to the outside, but this ball just really gets away. You might have to think that he was probably crossed up on that, maybe looking for a breaking ball.
The wild pitch gets runners to second and third. The count on Burks, 2 balls, no strikes.
Looks like Sundberg's going to need a new glove. Looks like he might have ripped the webbing out of the one he just
No
had.
surprise. Art Howell, one of the coaches for Texas. Now they have changed it to a pass ball after watching the replay. Pass ball now will be charged to Sundberg. The scorer is figuring that it was catchable, but it was tough catchable because he had to reverse the glove entirely. And just ticked it with his glove. Pass ball charged to Sundberg. 2 balls, no strikes. Foul back.
Another advantage for Witt will be working with Sundberg, getting a veteran catcher. Been around a little bit, certainly knows how to handle pitchers.
Absolutely. Good fellow to have behind the plate for you. One of the best defensive catchers in the league for the 10 years he spent with Texas. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 2 now to Ellis. Boggs at third, Greenwell at second, 2 outs. Back out by Ellis that time to make sure there's no mistake and the pitcher doesn't throw one right over the plate. Struck him out high inside. Yeah, breaking pitch of some sort. And that's all. The Red Sox got a pair on, but they leave him. And after 1 inning, no score. Into the 2nd inning we go. 0-0.
Kind of a big inning right there for Witt. Had a little bit of trouble. Men on second and third, but able to get out of it. A little nervous pitching at home probably.
Would like to get out of it without giving up 2 quick runs, particularly the way this team is playing.
And the way his team's been scoring runs, which haven't been very many.
First man up against Hurst will be Pete Incavilla, the left fielder, batting .254 with 19 home runs and 42 batted in. Has really had a rough go lately, but that one is toward the middle and Reed can't handle it. Takes a high hop off his glove. Base hit for Incavilla. That had some spin on it going up the middle. Jody Reed got over, but the ball hopped.
Jody had a long way to go for this ball, playing Incavilla a little bit toward the hole. Ball hit right back up the middle. Looked like he had a beat on it in the last minute. Took a nice big high hop here and almost really threw him off. I don't believe he would have had Incavilla going down to first anyway.
No, I don't believe so. Pete O'Brien, the first baseman, up. Ball 1. O'Brien has hit safely in 5 straight games, going 5 for 19. He's 5 for 20 this year at Fenway. And he's liked this ballpark. He's hit .350 lifetime here. Incavilla takes off. Throw by Gedman. Not in time. Goes into center field. Incavilla will go to third. So the big stocky left fielder, who is not averse to trying a steal now and then, steals second and goes to third on the overthrow or underthrow, as it were.
He's tried this a couple of times against the Red Sox, trying to catch him by surprise, and looks like that's exactly what he did. Had a good pitch to go on right there, a breaking ball. Looks like if he'd have caught that ball, they would have had Incavilla. Yeah. Skips right under his glove.
It looked as if it could have been held or caught by Reed, too. But the error will go on the throw, as it usually does. The catcher, Rich Gedman.
Tough error to get. That ball right on the bag.
A good throw, a good strong throw. 3-0 now to O'Brien. And sharply to first, off the glove of Benziger. That'll score a run, bouncing off the railing down there. And O'Brien, as usual, is on base. 1-0 Texas. Pete O'Brien sending a scorcher down first base way. Benziger could not handle it. And it'll be a base hit and an RBI. Double.
Well, it doesn't matter for O'Brien. Right-handers, left-handers. He's hitting over 300 against Hurst coming into the game. He's able to get a pitch and pull it right down that line again. Another hop right over Benziger's glove right there. Once it gets down in this corner, they're talking about a double. That's exactly where it ends up with an RBI.
Oh, for the first time in a while, the Red Sox trail early in the game. 1-0 Texas. Nobody out. Runner at second, and Steve Buechele, the third baseman, up. Ball 1. Buechele, .265 hitter. Home run last night against Wes Gardner. Boggs at third with another high hop. Gets it. Almost had it play away, but he had to wait for the hop to come down, and strong throw got Buechele. O'Brien holding at second.
Well, it's that kind of ball where he just keeps saying, please come down, and come down in a hurry. See this ball bouncing right out in front of the plate. Boggs has the back pedal on it. O'Brien with the ball at third base has to go back to second, and Boggs makes the long throw over to first to get Buechele.
So now there's one down and a runner at second, and Bob Brower, the designated hitter, is up. Brower did not play last night, did not play in the series in Texas. He can run. He's been bothered by injuries the last couple of years. Hitting .229 with a home run and 9 RBIs. Can steal a base and can certainly go get him in the outfield when he is 100% leg-wise. 1 ball, no strikes to Brower. Nubs it foul off the first base side. Brower went to Duke University on a football scholarship. He played football and baseball at Duke. And an injury terminated his football career. He was a running back and a receiver out of the backfield. Hurst has a count 1-1 to him. Hurst can't handle that one, and he's a little too late. The ball bounces away from Benziger, and that ball has eyes, ears, the nose, and throat tonight. It's hopping all over the place on the Red Sox. Some funny scoring plays to look at, too.
Well, a lot of the things that have been happening for the Red Sox right now seem to be going against him a little bit. After this ball hits off Hurst, he still has a chance to make a play on it. Again, waits for the ball to come down and had plenty of time right here to throw him out. Looks like the ball just got caught up on the heel of Benziger's glove. He should draw an error on that. Benziger.
He does. It's an assist for Bruce Hurst and an error charged to Benziger, who does not handle a throw. They would have had Brower out. So there is an error, the second one of the game of the inning. Things have been kind of sloppy so far. There's been a pass ball for the Rangers. A couple of walks in this inning, a single, a double, stolen base, 2 errors. And runners are now at first and third. The batter is Sundberg. Jim Sundberg, the catcher, signed up by the Rangers just about the time the Red Sox were down there in Arlington last week. He had been let go by the Chicago Cubs, and since coming back to the Rangers, he has 6 hits in 24 times up. Runner takes off for second. Brower is going to be out, and the runner holds at third. Good throw by Gedman again, and this time Jody Reed making the pick.
Looks like Texas wanted to play a little bit of hit and run right here with runners on first and third base. A very late jump right there by Brown. Almost making sure the ball's going to the plate. Taking a look back. Sundberg swings right through it, and again the good throw by Gedman. Never really did touch the base.
So the Rangers are running, and this time the Red Sox are throwing. Sundberg up with a count of 2-1. Hurst checking the auxiliary scoreboard just a second ago for the count. Lifted foul first base way. No, let's see, be a play? Yes, a play for Benziger as that wind carried it back from foul ground and the stands really into playing area. So Sundberg fouls out and Hurst gets out of it rather cheaply at that. After an inning and a half, Texas leading 1-0.
Well, Hurst and the Red Sox able to dodge a bullet. The line drive by Buechele, and then this ground ball right back up the middle. Looks like right at the end this ball skips a little bit. Reed had to make that play, almost reaching out toward the outfield, and of course to Barrett. Save a run.
So the Red Sox come up trailing 1-0 as they bat in the 4th inning. Mike Greenwell. Ball 1. Greenwell walked in the 1st inning. Got as far as second base on a pass ball. Red Sox had a runner at 3rd in the 1st inning. Wade Boggs on that pass ball. 2-0 from Bobby Witt. And ball 3. 3-0. Witt so far has worked a pretty quick pace in this game. He has not fooled around much on the mound. Seems to me earlier he used to take some time when he'd get behind hitters, but he comes right back at them now. He walks Greenwell for the 2nd time. Mike has been getting a lot of walks lately. Right there in the middle of the lineup and leading the league in runs batted in. They don't want to give him anything too good, despite the fact that he's flanked by either Evans or Boggs sometimes, and Burks, who is up now.
That's Greenwell's 60th walk of the season. Boggs has 74 coming into the game tonight.
I think Greeny has had about 11 intentional passes, too. Burks went down swinging with 2 on in the 1st inning. Strike 1. Down to shortstop Fletcher, and there's one. Safe at first. They do not get 2. Burks beats the return throw to first and avoids the double play. Started rather slowly, was not hit hard.
It looks like things slowed up a little bit on this double play.
Something bothering Burks. He has to go back into the club. I was hounding his chest. Go ahead.
See Fletcher have to back up a little bit, then get caught up in his glove a little. That's just enough to let Ellis Burks be safe at first base. Yeah, we saw Burks. Now he's coming back out.
Something got caught in his wind. Got some water. Something got caught in his windpipe, maybe.
Might have swallowed his gum on the way down to first base.
Maybe. Fortunately, it wasn't tobacco. The batter is Todd Benziger. Burks at first on the fielder's choice. There's 1 out. Benziger grounded to 3rd in the 2nd. One strike to Benziger.
Well, to grab a stolen base off Witt right now, you're going to have to try to pick a breaking ball, that's for sure. Sometime you can maybe take a peek into that catcher's glove when you have your lead at first base and pick up the pitch that he's calling. Very dangerous, though, because you really don't like to take your eyes off that pitcher. A little tough right now with the left-handed hitter up there, Benziger, but with a right-handed hitter, sometimes you get a pretty good look in there.
Yeah. Burks with a pretty fair lead off first base. And know that the possibility that Ellie may get down there and get into scoring position in this 1-0 game. So they are working on it. Nothing in 2 to Benziger.
Al Bunbury having a little discussion with first base umpire Hirschbeck. Might have picked up something in Witt's delivery to first base, throw to first base, and may think is a balk. Haven't been able to see anything yet myself.
Well, he's back off the mound that time, just got around on it, but disengaged the pitching mound. And here comes Morgan to talk to Hirschbeck also after Al Bunbury had talked with him. And that's what he's talking about.
We could hear the Red Sox dugout screaming a little bit earlier the first time he did throw over there. Then Bumby went over to say something. I think he's asking if he stepped off.
That time it looked as if he did on his second throw, but that's when Morgan came out. So they're just all they can do now is alert Hurst back a little bit more. It's hard to say from there, but it looked as if from here that he had moved back off the mound before making that throw.
He could step back off the rubber and throw to first base.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what it looked all right from here.
Yeah.
That second one, I don't know. I didn't. The first one, I didn't notice. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Whatever it is, I don't think Bumby thinks it's too serious, because when Morgan was talking with him, he didn't seem to agree with what Joe was saying.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Tapped softly to second. There is 1 there and 2 there. As Jeff Kunkel makes a fine play. Did he miss Burks? Yep, he missed Burks. So they did not get the out on the front man. They did get the play on Benziger for the out, but Burks avoided the tag.
Well, tried to pull the Marty Barrett play, but with a guy as quick as Ellis Burke able to just duck right out of the way right there. Now you get that potential tying run on second base to get the force at first base.
Good base running play by Burks.
Really doesn't go out of the baseline either. Just kind of ducks down, is able to reach the base. And Kunkel has to hurry and throw to first.
So the tying run is at second, and Jim Rice is up. Rice grounded to shortstop in the second. The breaking pitch for ball 1. Red Sox have had a base runner in 3 of the 4 innings, but none has scored. Fastball up on Rice, and now Jim has the count his way, 2-0. Ball hit well toward the bullpen in right center, and that is going to be gone for a home run. Jim Rice, Red Sox lead 2-1. Number 7 for Jim Rice. Puts the Red Sox in the lead.
Oh, Witt providing some of the power with a good fastball, and then Rice the rest of the power with that swing. Awful lot of times we've seen Rice hit balls into that Red Sox bullpen.
The next batter is Jody Reed, and he takes the ball. Crowd still trying to get Jim Rice to come out, and I don't believe he will.
He may have to.
There is a strike called on the outside corner to Reed, who fouled out his first time up. So the Red Sox take the lead on the home run by Rice. It is the 4th inning. He has now knocked in 49 runs. Another strike on Reed. Bobby Valentine has seen a lot of that lately, but not with Bobby Witt as much. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Reed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, what has hurt him right along earlier in the season, especially the base on balls, and that's what started this inning off with Greenwell.
Big play by Burks to avoid that double play. 2-2 to Reed. Ball 3. That is the 6th home run given up by Witt in 75 innings. Three balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4. And Reed waits the walk. Second walk this inning, given up by Witt, and the 3rd in the game. So the problem that Bobby Witt has had in his career hurting him this inning. Jim Rice, with that home run, he has had 5 home runs this year that have either tied the game or put the Red Sox ahead. So he hadn't had that many, but 5 of them have really counted.
Well, a conversation on the mound now between O'Brien, Kunkel, Witt, trying to calm him down a little bit. After the home run, he shook up a little maybe.
Last home run he gave up was May 5th.
Get back in the groove now and continue to throw those strikes like you're doing for a while.
Gedman is the batter. Ball 1. Boy, that was a shot by Rice. Wind or no wind, that's the deep part of this area toward the point of the bullpen. Gedman fouling it back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'd like to know of all Jim Rice's home runs here at Fenway Park, how many have gone in that bullpen area? Quite a
lot.
few. I've seen a lot.
Bullpen area and the center field triangle.
Yep.
1 ball and 1 strike. Gedman looks at strike 2. Right side, Jeff Kunkel to Pete O'Brien for the out on Gedman. The Red Sox get a pair of runs on the Jim Rice homer, and after 4 they lead 2-1. Thanks, Tom, and let's look at that catch by Ellis Burks.
Well, that good defense can help out a pitching staff. Great play right here. No slip on this one. All stretched out. Full blast.
Boy, you put a check mark and a couple of stars in that one on your scorecard. Wade Boggs up, taking a strike. Looking at that from the upper left field Nesson camera. And Fletcher's wondering how you're supposed to get a hit. He had a line drive to Barrett in this 3rd inning. It was hit hard. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wade Boggs. Bottom of the 5th. Red Sox leading 2-1. To the gap in left center, and here comes McDowell. And he loses the ball. Boggs heads for second base. In there safely. It'll be a double for Boggs as McDowell almost came up with a sensational catch.
It looked like McDowell had a pretty good beat in that ball, and it looked like he was going to come up with a great catch. But I think at the last minute might have caught Incaviglia out of the corner of his eye and kind of held up a little bit. Let's see if that's what happened. Looks like right here he's going to make the great play and just kind of slowed up a little bit.
Yeah, he almost had that ball. Made so many great plays in Texas against Boston. Incaviglia crossing right in front after the ball arrived. It'll be a double for Boggs, leading the 5th inning. Boggs is 2 for 3. Barrett is up. Bluffing the bunt. Ball 1. Barrett singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. He lined a single into right field. Red Sox leading 2-1 and out hitting the Rangers now 4-3. Rack Slider, the 3rd base coach, relaying Joe Morgan's signs to Barrett.
Barrett's got to find somehow to get that runner over the third base, whether it be the bunt or, like he did last time, get a base hit to the opposite field.
Second baseman Kunkel overshifted a step toward first, and there's Barrett trying to shoot it the other way, trying to get it into the right side to get Boggs over.
Well, with 1 ball, no strikes, Joe Morgan felt he was going to get a fastball he'd be able to work on right there, and he did try to move it to the opposite field. He's fouled it off. Let's see what he does now with the count 1-1.
We'll see if he goes to the bunt. 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of times he will not have Barrett bunt, being such a good opposite field hitter and contact hitter as he is. Odabe McDowell planted well over into right center field, and Sierra, the right fielder, over toward the line and in. Choking up as though to bunt, showing bunt, but taking ball 2.
Now right here he's back in that situation where he's going to get a fastball again. Or most likely get a fastball.
2-1 the count. He bunts to first. That's a good one. The sacrifice works. He has thrown out pitcher to first, but he gets the job done. Boggs to third with 1 away.
Well, he didn't get the fastball. He did square the bunt and get the job done. Slider right here by Witt. Good job by Barrett, able to get that ball down the first base line. And get Boggs over to third base.
Bobby Valentine is to the mound. Nobody working in the bullpen for Texas, naturally. There had been no reason to have anybody working the way the 2 pitchers have gone in this 2-1 affair. Right now they will work to Dwight Evans, whom Witt has struck out twice.
Once with a fastball, once with a slider.
And Evans' job to get the ball in the air deep enough, drive it deep enough to get Boggs home. Now Texas will bring the infield in with a runner at third and 1 out in the 5th inning of a 2-1 game. Trying to cut off that run at the plate. Not give Hurst another 2-run bulge. Line drive left field. Incaviglia comes on, can't make the catch. And here comes the run. It's 3-1. Dwight Evans does the job, singling sharply and knocking in his 72nd run.
Well, he didn't waste any time that time, not giving Witt a chance to work on him. Jumped on that first pitch. Looked like that ball was going to hold up long enough for Incaviglia to make a play on. He put a pretty good charge on that ball, but just dropped in front of him.
Come on, Mike. One deep.
This time there can be no incandescence in left field.
Got a nice pitch right there, too. The fastball on the first pitch. Almost got by Incaviglia, able to knock it down with his shins.
The batter now is Mike Greenwell. Scoring on the play, Wade Boggs as a manufacturer run after the leadoff double. The sacrifice by Barrett, the single by Dwight Evans. Now the infield back in double play depth with Evans at first. Fouled off by Greenwell, who has walked twice.
Boggs has now scored 80 runs on the season. Canseco still leads in that department with 87.
This has been one of those star years for Jose Canseco of Oakland. 1 ball, 1 strike to Greenwell. Do you wonder a little bit about the strategy of bringing the infield in at that particular time?
No, not especially the way that they haven't been scoring any runs. And
Hurst going. Seems early sometimes to me when they do that. 2 balls and 1 strike. 3-1.
I kind of like bringing the infield in. I don't like to give anything out for free. I see a lot of managers, some managers, Gene Mock for one and Billy Martin for the other, a couple of times early in the game. First inning they would bring it in. Of course, it depends on who's pitching, how your team's going, but they didn't like to give anything up for nothing.
3-1. The alternative, of course, is playing halfway, but that doesn't do much good with a runner at third. Ball 4. Third time that Greenwell has walked. They not messing with him tonight. But that time was not intentional, unintentional. He just walked him and say advances the runner to second.
You know, you mentioned that halfway before that ball fought to Greenwell. That's not a bad play because as soon as the third base coach sees those infielders come in a couple of steps and even play it halfway, they automatically say, make that ball go through. And sometimes you can get away with that play, and it's actually better than bringing them all the way in.
I always thought I was kind of like the halfway play more than taking the big shot of bringing the infield in and having all those angles that they had to cover and a ground ball getting between them. Ellis Burks down to shortstop, and they've got one. They will have two, and that will end the inning. So Burks hits into a 6-4-3, and the Red Sox get a run. At the end of 5, they lead 3-1. Well, we've hit the 7th inning already. Game just under 2 hours old. And the Red Sox holding a 3-1 lead, a closely contested game. These Texas Rangers have felt this, the idea of the streak and the big crowds and the excitement in Boston. They're going nowhere right now. But they don't want to be part of it. They want to bust open. They don't want to go out with a loss. They don't think about the streak too much. They just want to get themselves together again and play like professionals, which they have. They've given the Red Sox almost as much as you can handle in the last couple of weeks.
Well, they like to win their ball game, that's for sure. But I think they'd kind of down deep like to break this streak, especially Bobby Witt, being from New England, being from right around this area.
If the Red Sox should win tonight, they will equal the American League mark for consecutive wins in a home ballpark. 22 set by the Philadelphia Athletics in 1931 at Shibe Park, Philadelphia. The National League record and Major League record, though, is 26 in a row at home by the Giants. Way back. New York Giants. A strike, and Sundberg has the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Sundberg up, leading off the 7th inning. He's 0 for 2. Bruce Hurst, on top of that 2-run lead, has given up just 3 hits. And the big curve has Sundberg swinging it, fouling it. 2-2. Fastball, and it is strike 3. Sundberg is down as Hurst comes up with a number 1 pitch.
Pretty good pop right here on this fastball. Has it up above the belt. Looks like Sundberg about halfway through wanted to try to hold up.
Figuring probably in the 2-2 count they might get the breaking pitch, the good curveball by Hurst. Instead get the fastball.
Pretty good velocity right there going into the 7th inning.
Here's Kunkel. Jeff takes a strike. Kunkel has flied to right and flied to center. Son of the former Major League pitcher and umpire, the late Bill Kunkel. Strike 2. Nothing in 2. Tailing for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out in the 7th.
Bob Stanley, who had been throwing when this inning started, obviously completed his throws. He's just kind of taking it easy right now. He's certainly loose.
Got to be loose. Throw 2 pitches and you're loose tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and there's a ball that Hurst wanted. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just a bit outside. 2-2. And here comes Burks again. Can't get to this one. He has to let it fall in front of him for a bloop single by Kunkel. Rangers have a runner with 1 out. fourth hit for Texas.
Well, it looked like when it went up, he was going to be able to make another spectacular play, but this ball not hit that hard, just drops down in front of him.
Kunkel at first base, and the top of the order is up. O.B. McDowell. And Hurst over to first. Benziger slapping the tag just a moment too late.
Kind of reaction you get quite often at first base when Bruce Hurst goes over there. A little bit slow getting back. Really didn't have a big lead at all.
Guns it over again. Bruce will come up with that leg just at the right parallel plane, so that he can still go over to first base. He can look toward the batter. Strike on McDowell. Bit high, ball one. Yankees 2-1 lead over Milwaukee after 2 at County Stadium. And Kansas City leading Detroit 1-0 after 2 at Kansas City. Very short edge off first base by Jeff Kunkel. Paul Molitor is homered for Milwaukee in that Yankee game. It is Shields against Wigman. Count is 1-1 to O.B. McDowell. The Red Sox lead 3-1. Rangers batting in the 7th. Driven toward the gap in right center. That's trouble. Dropping in for the base hit. Picked up by Burks. Fires toward second. McDowell back to first. Runners at first and third. 2 on, 1 out, and Morgan to the mound. Long single. Good job of retrieving by Ellis Burks to hold McDowell, a fast runner, to a single.
Well, it looked like where that ball was headed, it was certainly going to be a double for McDowell. Good job again by Burks. As you said, Ned, to cut that ball off, keep the double play in order, keep that tying run off second base.
That'll be it for Bruce Hurst, as Joe Morgan comes out with a hook and goes for Bob Stanley in the bullpen. Hurst will get a nice hand on this hot night when he comes off the mound. He will stay out there till his relief comes in. Bruce has gone 6 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits and 1 run. He's responsible for 2 runners. Walked 4, struck out 3. He still could win this game. He cannot lose it. And here's the hand for Hurst as it comes off.
It's 3-0, the 1.78 with 3 saves in his last 17 appearances. Overall for Stanley, a record of 4 wins and no losses. 2.95 ERA. Has 3 saves to his credit in 55 innings, 46 hits, 31 strikeouts, and 15 walks. To get that one pitch right here, ground ball to short.
They got him in there for the ground ball, the double play ball, and out of the inning if they can do it. It does not get between the fielders. He has pitched very, very well lately. In fact, all year has been one of the pleasant surprises, not because of what he has done, but because of coming back from an injury that some felt, and he felt at one time, may have just stopped his career. The hand injury in February. He faces Scott Fletcher. Infield, double play depth, short double play depth, really about halfway around second base. McDowell, fast man at first base. Kunkel is at third. Red Sox lead 3-1. Fletcher fouled hauling it into the first base crowd. Fletcher, a good contact hitter, will get this bat on the ball, doesn't strike out much. In this game, he has grounded to short, lined to second, and lined on a great diving catch by Ellisbergs in right center field.
Obviously, what Bobby Valentine is thinking is he definitely wants to stay out of the double play. You could possibly see McDowell taking off from first, even a couple of runs down, maybe even a squeeze play. You never know in this situation.
Barrett and Reed move back a step or two at second and short. Tom Bolton, left-hander, warming in the Red Sox bullpen now. Tight ball game. Red Sox leading 3-1 in the 7th. He jams him, chokes him, and it's foul. Strike 2. Two strikes to the batter with runners at first and third. Fletcher, the hitter, 1 out. Ruben Sierra, the on-deck hitter. They pitch out, nothing happening. Thinking maybe Odobe might get the jump and go down, or have some sort of play on, as Valentine continues to give the signals. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Benziger holding against McDowell. Nineteen steals for McDowell. Jeff Kunkel, a runner at third. And it hit him. Just grazed his uniform, and that loads the bases. And that's a tough break for Stanley and the Red Sox, as he had a 1-2 count on Fletcher. He hits him, and that loads him up. McDowell goes to second. Kunkel is at third.
Tried to run that ball back inside on Fletcher. Fletcher diving into the ball, as he normally does. And just looks like it nicks him right off the arm. A lot of movement on this ball right here from Stanley. Trying to get it on his hands. He got him just a little too far. Maybe just right off that uniform top.
He's got a tough batter to face now in Ruben Sierra, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out, popped up, and struck out against Hurst. Batting right-handed. Now turns around against Stanley. 3 on, 1 out. Infield back at double play depth. Benziger deep at first.
The left-handed batter up in Benziger playing as deep as he is at first base. It makes it a little bit difficult on a normal double play ball, because that runner on first can get a big jump and break that thing up.
They're deep on Sierra in the outfield. There's a palm ball for a strike. That had Sierra kind of disjointed up there. 1 strike. 1 out. That's the figure the Red Sox would be interested in. Strike. Jeff Kunkel at third base. Odobe McDowell at second. And Scott Fletcher at first. 2. 2-1 count. Bruce Hurst through for the night, but out there watching. And a third ball thrown well away from Sierra. 3-1. There's no place to put it.
Almost looks like right here, Stanley's just kind of trying to aim the ball, trying to hit that outside corner, get Sierra to reach out and try to pull something to second base. Doesn't look like he's really letting it go.
You aim that way, you tend to get it out that way instead of just letting the sinker do its natural best and drop away from him with movement. 3 balls, 1 strike. Checks his swing, foul tips it, strike 2. Came in on him, and Sierra started and held back. Got a foul tip. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Stanley knocks it down. He'll come to the plate. He throws it away. 1 run has scored. 2 runs will score. It's tied up. He had a play at the plate all set up on a nice stop at the pitcher's mound, and in his hurry threw it away and tied up the ball game. Runners are now at first and third.
Well, at first this ball looked like it was going to be headed up the middle, definitely for a base hit. Stanley's able to knock the ball down, keep it in front of him as Joe Morgan and Charlie Morse come out to check out exactly where Stanley got hit. Looks like he got it right off the shin.
That's the 3rd error of the night for the Red Sox. Boy, what a tough one, too. Fletcher went around to third base, and on the fielder's choice, Sierra stays at first. Now they've taken a look, and he'll try to throw and see how it feels. Ball was rocketed back to Bob, and he got in front of it.
Well, actually caught a break by that ball hitting him off the shin, and it bounces out in front of him, so he's got the whole play in front of him. See the ball going right back up the middle by Sierra. Yeah, right off that left shin, right all in front of him. He has everything in front of him right here. Gedman out, acting like a first baseman, just kind of overthrew it, past the glove of Gedman, and now 2 runs will come on to score.
Belatedly, he covers. They didn't have a chance anyway as a tying run comes across, with Kunkel scoring from third and McDowell scoring from second on the throwing error by Stanley. And now it is 3-3. Runners at first and third, and 1 out. That could have gotten a lot of trouble over with had the play been made. A chopper, and that one is foul off the bat of Incavilla. Pete Incavilla, the batter. And the game has changed here in the 7th inning. Incavilla has singled, walked, and struck out.
It's like Dennis Lamp has joined Tom Bolton in the Red Sox bullpen.
Double barrel action out there. Texas bullpen quiet. Runners at first and third. Into left field. This will score the go-ahead run. Incavilla singles, and Texas leads 4-3. Pete Incavilla gets his 43rd run batted in, and Morgan comes out to get Stanley. Bob Stanley hit a batter the first one he faced, and then on the shot back to the box, had the play at the plate for an apparent force out. He hands the ball to Morgan and will lead. The fans get on him. So Stanley faces 3 batters. Gets nobody out. Goes no part of an inning. Gives up 1 hit. He is charged with 1 run. The other two runs are charged to Bruce Hurst, Kunkel, and McDowell. So Hurst evens a record. His record up is 5 hits given up and 3 runs. He walked 4, struck out 3. He threw 98 pitches and now has no chance to win the game. He cannot lose it. And left-hander Tom Bolton is on.
Bolton making appearance number 13 for the Red Sox. 1 win, 2 losses, 2.70 ERA. 18 hits in 16 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 11. Has walked 5. Last time Tom worked was down in Texas on the 26th. It's 1 inning, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. Lost that game on a home run to Sierra in the 7th inning. Kind of a funny inning, this inning.
Boy, also. Started out with Hurst striking out Sundberg, and then Kunkel looped a single right in front of Ellis Burks. And McDowell followed with a single to right center, and that was all for Hurst. Stanley came on. He hit Fletcher to load the bases. Sierra hit one right back in the box. Stanley stopped it with his shin and then had a play at the plate but threw it away, and 2 runs scored. And now Incaviglia has singled to drive in the go-ahead run. 4-3 Texas. And Bolton coming on to work to O'Brien. Lamp still busy in the bullpen. Runners are at first and second. And the turn of events late in the game has put Texas out in front. 3 Red Sox errors in this game. They had 2 errors in the 2nd inning that did not lead to unearned runs. There was 1 earned run scored. The 1 error was of the base advancing variety, and they would have scored anyway on O'Brien's double in Cavilla. Here is O'Brien. He is 2 for 2. Double, a single, and a walk. Again, the Red Sox infield hoping for the double play ball. Barrett several steps in at double play depth. Strike 1. Jody Reed shading over towards second. Boggs wide of the bag at third. Strike 2. Wide breaking pitch.
Big sweeping breaking ball. Tommy Bolton. That draws a bad swing right there from O'Brien. An unusual bad swing.
Doesn't take many of them, especially, well, against Boston. He takes none practically. 2 strikes to Pete. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quiet crowd right now. But it's just the top of the 7th. Texas battling back with some help. Has scored 3 runs. Strike him out. O'Brien out on strikes. Fine job by Tom Bolton on Pete O'Brien. So they've got 2 down.
After drawing some bad swings with the breaking ball, now goes back to the fastball, kind of 3-quarter delivery, and picks that outside corner. Tough pitch. The only thing O'Brien can hope to do there is, if he swings at it, is try to foul it off.
Well, Tommy Bolton has done his job. He is brought in to face the left-hander and get him out. Dennis Lamp will come on. So Bolton strikes out the 1 man he faces, gets the left-hander out. That's what he's there for. And Dennis Lamp will be brought in. And he will be facing Steve Buechele, who is 0 for 2 tonight, has grounded out, lined out, and walked. As Joe Morgan goes to the pen 1 more time and hopes for 1 more out to keep this game on a 1-run basis.
Lamp will be making appearance number 30 for the Red Sox. 5 wins, 3 losses, 3.36 ERA. Struck out 40, given up 11 walks, 65 hits in 64 1/3 innings. Worked last night 2 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run. Struck out 2. He's 4-0 with a 2.97 in his last 2.97 ERA in his last 14 appearances. Well, Bolton does his job by getting O'Brien and try to get out of this inning with just the 3 runs and keep it a 1-run ballgame.
Crowd appreciates what Tom Bolton did, and now We will see what Dennis Lamp can do against Buechele. That Yankee game, New York leading 3-1. Jack Clark has homered for the Yankees. Molitor has homered for Baltimore. That's after 3 at County Stadium. Kansas City, with Brett Saberhagen working, is leading Detroit and Frank Tanana 1-0 in the 4th at Kansas City's Royal Stadium. Twins lead Toronto 4-3 after 5. McGriff has hit another home run for Toronto. He's got 26. The Cardinals lead the Phillies 3-0 after 3 at St. Louis. Montreal 4 and Pittsburgh 3 in the 8th at Pittsburgh. An important game in the National League East. Van Slyke has homered for the Pirates, his 18th. Galarraga and Santorina have homered for Montreal. And the Cubs lead the Mets 2-0 in the 8th inning at New York. Rick Sutcliffe working that game, and Bob Ojeda has been relieved by Leach and McDowell for New York. Here it is Texas 4, Boston 3, top of the 7th. 2 outs, runners at first and second, and Dennis Lamp working to Steve Buechele. The Texas third baseman 0 for 2. Sierra, the runner, at second. Incavilla at first. Ball 1.
Well, just about on every pitch, Lamp really is borderline with that not stopping.
Yeah, it comes very close to the balk again, doesn't he?
Sometimes it almost looks like he stops twice. Once up high and then gets going again and stops down below a little bit.
2 balls, no strikes. Misses outside, ball 3. The on-deck hitter is Bob Brower.
We may see Petrali if they get to that situation.
Very possibly get the left-handed hitter in there. Brower is 0 for 3. He's ended a couple of innings. He walks him on 4 pitches. So the right-handers in the bullpen coming on and having problems with the first men they face. Stanley and now Lamp. Bases full again. And Brower will not hit. Gino Petrali, who was a designated hitter last night and the catcher normally for this ball club, will come on to hit for Brower with the bases full. Petrali turned an ankle in the recent series at Tiger Stadium when he fell in the dugout. It took him from behind the plate in this series, but they keep his bat around because his bat has been very effective against the Red Sox. Certainly was down in Texas.
Very important right here to get this out, keep this a 1-run ball game, because getting to the 7th inning on, Witt has been effective. Plus they've got Williams just hanging around in that bullpen waiting for his turn.
Yeah, Williams worked last on Sunday. So Ruben Sierra is the runner at third base. Pete Incavilla at second. And Steve Buechele at first. 9th man of the inning is up. Pinch hitter Gino Petrali. Hitting .302 with 5 home runs and 19 batted in. Full windup by Lamp. Ball 5. 1-0.
Well, Sierra really had a big jump down the line that time, trying to draw possibly a balk. He was about halfway down the line. Get as much as the third base will allow you to get. Boggs has to play with the left-handed hitter up.
There is a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to Petrali. Guy inside for strike 2. Jammed him that time, and now it's 1-2. Home run as a pinch hitter this year for Petrali. Lamp ready again. Bases full. 2 out. Crowds him one more time. Ball 2. 2-2. To third and Boggs. Over to Barrett. They've got the out. And Lamp does the job. But the Rangers get 3. And after 6 1/2, they lead 4-3. Okay, hope you all will be aboard for the Milwaukee series as the Red Sox, after leaving Detroit for heavens knows what results will be happening in Tiger Stadium over the weekend, to face the Milwaukee Brewers again. Kurt Wilkerson is the new Texas second baseman. Wilkerson replacing Jeff Kunkel at second. And batting in Kunkel's spot in the order, the number 9 spot. Red Sox trail by a run. Bobby Witt on the mound. Well, they got to get him on first. Stretch half of the 7th. Rich Gedman is up. Slowly to O'Brien for 1 out. Gedman is 0 for 3. He has grounded out 3 times to the right side of the infield tonight. Witt now will face Wade Boggs, who has touched him up for a single and a double.
After having some trouble in the 4th and 5th inning, came back strong last inning, had a long time on that bench between innings. Gets a little help right there. First batter grounding out.
And it's out of play. Wade Boggs batting with 1 out. And a ball. The line on Bruce Hurst, he gave up 5 hits and 3 runs. One of them was earned. Bob Stanley gave up an earned run. Boggs high toward left. That ball will come in fair territory for Incavilla. Falls down. And Boggs will be at second base. He will head for third. He will be at third base with a triple. A crazy triple for Wade Boggs as Pete Incavilla falls down in the corner with a chance to make an easy catch.
Well, maybe that Fenway magic will continue after all. Looks like a ball that's going to be a routine out. Incavilla had to go not very far for it, but did have to get running for it. And as soon as he gets in position to make the play, just slips on the grass right before the warning track.
And a big break for the Red Sox right here. Boggs saw that, and rounding second base, he put it on the afterburner and beat the throw from third as Incavilla, hustling all the way, picks the ball up and fires in.
Took a little turn around and look at that grass. You got to look at that baseball. Get back and get it.
A screwy triple for Wade Boggs, and the tying runs at third with 1 out. Marty Barrett up. The infield is back. Ball 1. Barrett 1 for 2. Single to right in the 3rd inning. Sacrificed successfully his last time up. Boggs now has a single, a double, and a triple in this game. Oh, we've seen it all tonight. Crazy hops by the baseball, errors, outfielders falling down. 1-0 to Barrett. tap back towards second. This will score the run. Barrett's out. It's tied up 4-4. And Marty does the job well.
Now there's a case right there that Bobby Valentine wished he'd have had that second baseman and shortstop in. Barrett just able to get a piece of this ball, hit it to one of the two guys that run would have scored, second or short. First to third, Bobs would have had to hold up at third base.
So now it's 4-4 and a brand new game again. Here's Evans. Foul, strike one. Dwight, big single for him in the fifth inning after striking out twice. He singled home a run in the fifth. Strike two. Nothing in one. Nothing in two now to Evans. Nothing in one.
The Rangers have Ed Vandenberg, the left-hander, up in their bullpen.
Greenwell on deck. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Rangers. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Red Sox. There have been 2 unearned Texas runs tonight. Bob Stanley throwing the ball away. All of a sudden, it's 4-4 again. And Lee Arthur Smith gets up in the bullpen. To the left side, Buechele. In time for the out. The Red Sox scratch a run out with a break. And at the end of 7, they're tied up 4-4. Okay. Not too many folks going to leave here. Fenway Park, 34,380 tonight. Just about a little under what they had last night when they set the season mark of 35,462. About 900 less, but it appears they're just the same. That's your score, 8th inning. Bobby Witt has gone all the way. He faces Mike Greenwell. Little hesitation pitch by Witt that time. Ball 1. He has walked Greenwell 3 times tonight. 3 of his 4 walks have been Mike Greenwell. Ripped down to second. Wilkerson with it. And Greenwell, who finally gets a chance to swing the bat, is out. 1 down. Ellis Burks, 0 for 3. Struck out, fielder's choice, and hit into a double play. His fielder's choice later put him on base. He later scored a run coming home on the Rice home run. Got to hand it to Bobby Witt tonight. He's been out there pounding them through. Not been a strikeout night for him. He's fanned 4, and he has walked 4. But he has been right in this game. And the tying run should not have scored against him.
That's right. Had a little trouble in the 4th and 5th inning. Came back very strong. And you're right, Ned. That run in the last inning really shouldn't have scored. He really should have had that. Yeah. Made that play if he hadn't slipped.
2 balls and no strikes to Burks. 3-0. Benziger on deck. Sox have a runner in the 8th. The 5th walk given up by Bob Witt.
Well, I got a feeling Sundberg better get that arm loose right now. Good speed on first base. Ellis Burks, 15 stolen bases on the season.
Bumbry talking to him. You can look at him very, very carefully. He'll probably draw some throws over there. One out. And the lead run at first base for Boston. Benziger up. And he is 0 for 3. Throws over there indeed. Benziger has grounded out twice and flied to center. Strike one. 0-1. Rice on deck. Yeah, bad cut by Todd that time. Pitched down and in on him. Strike 2.
Well, that getting ahead right away makes it tougher for Brooks. First pitch is a strike, then they have the possibility of the pitch out. Now with 2 strikes, you can go ahead and pitch out a couple of times if they want.
Do what he wants to now. Count 2 strikes to Benziger. Struck him out. Had no chance. Benziger on that one. That's the 5th strikeout for Whit.
This gave Benziger a steady diet of breaking balls. This one out of the strike zone down. Benziger tried to hold the swing up, couldn't do it. Good job right there by Whit.
He's got 2 outs now, and he'll face Jim Rice. Rice grounded to short in the 2nd, hit a 2-run homer to the Red Sox bullpen in the 4th, and flied to right field in the 6th.
Also makes it a little bit easier for Sundberg now with the right-handed hitter up to be able to make that throw to second base.
Burks diving back. Would love to get down to second base. Benziger gave him really no chance with a pretty quick strikeout. Moving again. Game tied 4-4. Bottom of the 8th. 2 out for the Red Sox. Runner at first. And Jim Rice up. The long wait. Rice will back out.
Oh, Witt's doing everything possible. Holding the ball for a long time, making the throws to first base, and that quick delivery to home plate.
Not as yet seen a pitch out. Witt working with the veteran Sundberg behind the plate. Burks back in there again. Rice has not drawn a pitch yet. There is a throw to first. Safe. He almost got caught. He took off, aborted his steal, and came back.
That's the one he wanted to go on, and he was able to pick up the pitch out.
Yep.
Sundberg still made it a very close play at first base.
Good job of getting back by Burke. There he goes.
He wanted to steal on that pitch, the pitch out, able to pick that up and then get back. Realized he didn't have the jump. Would have been a dead duck at second base.
Oops. Nice throw down there. Sundberg will fire it. So they still have their base runner at first. The count on Rice, 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby Valentine has had his talk with Bobby Witt. Lays off a breaking ball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
even with a lot of his concentration on Burks at first base, has still been able to make some good pitches to both Benzinger and Rice.
1-1 to Jim. Outfield straight away. Runner goes. Throw down to second base. He slides in safe. Throw a little bit high by Sundberg, and Ellis Burks gets the steal. He's in scoring position. The count on Rice now 2-1.
They're going to walk Rice now. You see the jump that Burks get. Not a great jump. His speed's going to beat this ball. Throw a little bit high from Sundberg. See that little jump right there by Fletcher, and that's basically the difference.
So now they're going to put Rice on with first base open and take their chances with Jody Reed. That'll be the sixth walk given up by Witt, and his first intentional walk. So everything rests on the shoulders of Jody Reed, who is hitless tonight in 2 official trips. He has fouled out, he has walked, and he has flied to left. Burks with speed at second. Rice at first.
Wilkerson calling in for Velia in a couple of steps in the outfield. He was playing back almost on the warning track. A possible winning run on second base, trying to get him in a little bit so he can make a play at the plate.
Burks edging off second base. Ball 1. Your score. Check swing foul. Tried to get the bat out of the way of that one, which is up and in, and fouled it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside, ball 2. 2-1. Strike right on the outside corner after working him tight.
Nasty pitch right there. Nasty fastball right on the outside corner. See Reed take a couple of looks at it. Tough pitch.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Two out, 2 on. The deuces are wild out here. Ball outside and just outside. Reed holding back on that breaking ball. Ball 3. Gedman on deck. So here it comes. 3-2. 2 outs. Reed bangs one into left field. Base hit. Burks will score. Throw to second base, safe at second. The Red Sox lead by 1. Jody Reed, a clutch single, driving in the go-ahead run. 5-4.
Well, after a pitch that he looked like he might have been struck out on, able to get this base hit. And that run almost didn't score. Incaviglia with a heads-up play going to second base. Rice had rounded second base. Burks had not scored the run yet, and there's a play right here on him. Very close.
Whoa.
Wow.
That would have been epitome of frustration. There's a base hit. Here comes Ellis.
Brooks really doesn't slow up at all. He's going hard all the way. Slows up a little bit right there, but that was very, very close at second base. And if they'd have called Rice out, that run would have not counted. Incaviglia now having a pretty good argument with Reed at second base.
Yeah, very good argument. Here it is again. Rice diving back in there. That's a bang-bang play at second. Wilkerson, according to the second base umpire, Rick Reed. No, that was the first base umpire, Hurst, who made that call following the play. And boy, oh boy, that would have been it.
Looked like the tag was just a little bit high, and Rice got his hand back in there. Spike Owen got a pinch run for Jim Rice right now.
So Owen, who pinch hit for Jim Rice, you might remember, a couple of weeks ago, runs for him now. There's the play off a little bit to the first base side. Watch. Oh, boy, they've got an argument there. There's no doubt about that.
Either way, you'd have had a pretty good argument, but...
What a base hit for Reed. Cracked that 3-2 pitch in the hole into left. And it was a good heads-up play by Incaviglia. Gedman is up. Runners at first and second. Strike one.
I really don't think if Incaviglia would have come up throwing it, he'd have had a play at all on Burks at home.
No, none. Burks had flown around the bases. He was headed for home under a full head of steam. He knew where the ball was. Gedman is 0 for 3 tonight, grounded out 3 times. Almost thrown away by Bobby Witt, who really has to feel a little frustration himself. Almost getting out of the inning within an out of keeping this game tied. RBI for Reed was his 19th, and a big one. Gedman with a wicked swing, and its count is 1 ball and 2 strikes as Rich Gedman having trouble solving his fellow stater, Bobby Witt. And he is down on strikes, and Sundberg will throw him out after dropping the ball. The Red Sox get a run. Big steal by Ellis Burks. Big hit by Jody Reed. And after 8, Boston leads 5-4. So we have gone through 8 innings. Crazy, wild innings at Fenway Park, and the Red Sox lead the Texas Rangers 5-3. Base hit by Jody Reed, and the man they got last winter to fill this situation is in there now, Lee Smith.
Appearance number 41 for Lee Smith. 4 wins, 4 losses, 3.71 ERA, 17 saves, 54 hits and 53 in the 3rd innings, 60 strikeouts, 26 walks. Last time Lee worked was on July 29th, the first game of the doubleheader against Milwaukee. Got the save in that game. Has 17 saves in 23 chances. 4 saves in his last 4 appearances.
So the big man has been doing it lately.
He's got to face some thunder, too. Sierra, Incaviglia, and O'Brien.
Sure does. Got some homer hammerers up there. Sierra is the batter. Red Sox lead 5-4. Trying to set the streak at 22 at home. Ball 1. Sierra is 0 for 4 tonight. Has not had the ball out of the infield. Strike 1.
Little gas right there. We head back and go ahead and try and hit it. Good hard fastball from Lee Smith. And he did try.
He did. Fast against fast. It's looped towards center. Here comes Burks again. One out. Ellis Burks right there. Boy, Burks has been an involved man out there. He's not had a hit, but he's been right in this game. Defensively, yes. Offensively, yes. And on the bases, yes. Incaviglia is up. He is 2 for 3. His single, big one in the 7th inning. Knocked in a run. A run that put the Texas Rangers ahead at that time. So right now, this is challenge time. Power against power. The big hitter, the big free swinger, and the fastball pitcher. Golf high, first base way, Gedman back, and he will not blow back. Denziger over also, and the count is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lee has had trouble lately with his back, had some back problems. Loosening it up now. Pop foul, Gedman chasing. He's under it. 2 out. Smith needs one more. And the Rangers, if they have anybody up in this whole lineup that they would like to have up to try to tie this game, they have him right now in Pete O'Brien. O'Brien is 2 for 3. Ball 1. Kansas City leads Detroit 2-1 after 6. Yankees have a 3-1 lead in the 5th over Milwaukee. Foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mr. Morgan. Two outs, nobody on. Ball 2. Fastball outside. Count of 2 balls, 1 strike. Morgan yelling just like the rest of the players. Spiked high and foul out of play. The count reaches 2-2. Crowd up. They'd like to see the strikeout. Two and 2 to Pete O'Brien. 2 out. Ball 3. O'Brien had a notion, held back on a breaking ball, and it is 3-2. Steve Buechele is the on-deck hitter. Strike 3, and the streak reaches 22. fans will not see this team for a while as they go on a long road trip. But what they've seen in the last 3 weeks at home has been more than enough, as they have now won 22 straight games at Fenway Park, tying them with the Philadelphia Athletics of 1931 for 22 straight wins at home. And the whole ball club out to gather around Lee Smith, who blew it away in the 9th inning. Pandemonium on the field indeed. And our Texaco player of the game is Ellis Burks. He went 0 for 3 tonight, but he scored 2 runs, including the winning run. He had a big stolen base in the 8th inning to set up that winning run that came in on the hit by Jody Reed. And he made 2 outstanding plays in center field, saving a run at one time. The final score, the Red Sox 5, the Rangers 4. Stay tuned next for the Polaroid Red Sox Instant Replay.
Charlie Moore is a little